So this is kind of what I was doing with Philip. We're toying around with this concept during a live design session with him. That's when we were like, there's something there. That was my first concept. That was based off of this. So it was more like the label. We did this one, and then I had a live design session with Philip, and we kind of just were kind of working through some creative ideas, and then we thought about doing kind of more flame-like, but with the foam of the top of the root beer, like it was coming up and over the car. That's when we were like, there's something there, and that's when I took it to pen and paper, scanned it, brought it into Illustrator, and then once we got the CAD files from Chevrolet, I created a template off those CAD files for our design template. So this is basically a two-dimensional version of the 2026 Cup car. So printed out the template and then kind of hand drew these foam-like flames that come up over the wheel wells and blend in behind the number. So printing that, I came in here and you see these squiggles. So typically I just kind of use this as a baseline. It came out amazing. I'm really happy with this one. Certain paint schemes stick with me. I've done a lot of them, and this is going to be one for sure. Sometimes things just work, and this one did with the colors and everything. It's always fun when you have a brand like this. It's always fun to do a cool, badass brand like Rebel. And that's what made this project so fun, is they're kind of breaking boundaries as far as what is the norm of a race car, where you just see stripes and, you know, how many times can you reinvent stripes on a side of a car? So the texture in the background here, that was kind of an afterthought. It was originally just the brown, and I felt like it just needed a little bit more depth. So I found an old piece of wood and I boosted the contrast in it so it just would get the grain, and then I vectorized that. So it gave you that kind of grungy background texture, which I think helped the brown not be as flat. And then all our prints come out like this on a piece of white glossy material. So the finished product has a blend of the two. So we ended up laminating this entire car in matte with a matte finish, which looks insane. It looks so good. It also has gloss elements to it. So we kept the number, the Rebel root beer, and Shoot the Root. These are all in gloss, so they're done as overlays. So we'll print this entire graphic without these pieces in it, come back and overlay them on top of the print before we actually wrap it. And it gives you that two-tone effect where you have kind of your base design all in matte, and then the things that pop out at you are your number and your sponsor, which came out absolutely beautiful. I've kind of engineered, I mean, it's not a real secret, but we end up wrapping the car in white vinyl, and it's got a grid pattern on it. So we'll go down, wrap the car with this grid pattern, and then instead of cutting on the car like you would, you know, to finish it out, I'll go down there with a Sharpie and I'll draw all the character lines. And then what I'll do from there is I'll remove this grid pattern off the car and then put it on a wall and photograph it. And as we know, most cameras, when you take a picture, it's got a natural fisheye. So I'll bring that back into my program where I have that grid, and I'll kind of snap these 4-inch grid patterns back together so it is as it was printed. So it creates this really kind of odd looking template. So this is actually what the template looks like. So that's the whole side of a race car. The nose actually turns up like this when you wrap. That's the way the vinyl comes around. I was able to then go and bring in all the design elements. On this smaller version, there's a tick mark right there, and there's one right here. And those are the bottom of the rocker panel. So our guys will take this 174-inch piece of material, expose the entire thing, and set the left and the right, and hang it up, and then start wrapping. You know, being in the motorsports and liking cars. You know, you see engines, you just like, wow. And then you see a wrap and people are just blown away. So it makes our job kind of special.